Welcome, everybody. Brad Show Live. It is Tuesday, April 28th. My name is Brad Bernstein. Some people like to call me Uncle Brad, but my name is Brad Bernstein, and I'm going to be with you for about an hour or so as we start our Tuesday's edition of Pandemic Pop-Up Quarantine Edition. As you can see, you're looking in the back of my living room right now. We are quarantined, and we will be here probably at least another month if you are listening to Governor Cuomo in New York. But in other parts of the world or parts of the United States, they will be opening up. I feel like I'm doing Good Morning America, where the guy says, "What's the weather in your part of the woods?" Yeah, so in some parts of the woods, you will be getting out of the house, but in our part of the woods, I'm still in my living room. Let me say hello to the squad. That's what we usually do here on Brad Show Live. First, Cordella Douglas, squad up. How are you? Yo-Yo is in the comments. What's going on? Yo-Yo saying he is first. You were not first. Cordella was first. Kennedy Royce, squad up. Juliet Hilaire, what's going on? Sasha Ford. Jonathan going, ha ha, how's everyone doing? Now, it's possible, I may take that back. It's possible Yo-Yo was first because I logged on when Yo-Yo was first. Because on my telephone that logged on as soon as the show started, he is there first saying squad up. Although Cordella seems to still have beat him. So I'm not exactly sure. He feels he's first. I think Cordella beat him. Squad, let me know if it was Yo-Yo or Cordella. I'm not sure. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. How are you? Only because Yo-Yo is going to be bragging to me when I see him that he was first in the comments. So I got to make sure that I got the facts straight when I see him. Sasha Ford saying, looking good, Uncle Brad. That's right. I shaved. And I was telling Jilly the reason why I shaved was because Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx keep saying, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. But, you know, when you have a beard, you want to pet the fur. You want to pet the fur. So, you know, I couldn't stop touching my beard. It was like a nervous thing or something. I don't know, but I just wanted to keep petting it. Now that I have no beard, no fur, I don't need to pet the fur anymore. So I don't need to touch my face anymore. So that's why I shaved. But I was really thinking I wasn't going to shave until I got out of quarantine, but then probably would have looked like Santa Claus or Jewish Santa Claus or somebody, or ZZ Top, as Jilly told me, or maybe one of the Duck Dynasty people. It doesn't really matter, but I shaved, and there you have it. Monica Stone saying, hi, Uncle Brad Bernstein. How are you? Cordella, squad up. Sylvie Edward, squad up. Michaela Reed has a question. Good afternoon, Uncle Brad. Can you please explain who's qualified for pandemic unemployment and how? If you filed a tax return and you are on the books, you're going to be qualified for it. End of story. That's simple. Katie and Plunkett, squad up. Uncle Brad and team, how are you? Jacqueline Daly, what's going on? Rajev, I have not said your name in a while. He's part of the crew. How are you, Rajev? He does a fantastic job cutting a lot of our videos. Squad up. And Latoya, his forever Peterson, she's still with him. She's still with him every day. Carlene Moran, squad up. How are you? And let's go over to YouTube. Let's see who's watching on YouTube. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, first on YouTube and double fisting. Aldine Jackson saying hello. Kay Wakari says, good evening, Uncle Brad. Thank you for everything. I don't know what I did, Kay, but it's my pleasure. How are you? Elisa Henry, squad up. Tia Persaud saying, hi, Uncle Brad, and everyone. Have a blessed evening and stay safe. I couldn't say it better. Everyone should have a blessed evening and stay safe in this time in 2020. Brooke Brown, Uncle Brad, hello, how are you? Miles Steve 7, Uncle Brad, all what I can say to you is God bless you for what you have been doing for us. My pleasure, my pleasure. Martin Alemking, please, Brad, I got a DV visa, which will soon expire. Can I extend it when it expires? Unfortunately, no. You got to enter the U.S. with the diversity lottery visa before before September 30th. The plane should be flying by then. If you have an immigrant visa already issued to you, you will be allowed to come despite Donald Trump's ban on immigration for the next 60 days. 29 Super Seek. Looking clean, Brad. Thank you very much. I already discussed my beard. And Nisha saying hello. Ken Kibbett saying hello. Denise Johnson, what's going on? Boaji Muhammad saying squad up too. Now, I really appreciate all of your very nice comments, and I really appreciate it. I try to do the best for everybody. I'm going to ask everybody to do the best for me right now. If you're watching on YouTube, what I'd like you to do is please turn that gray button into blue. Right now, we have a total of 53 people watching on YouTube, but only 16 people gave me a thumbs up. So right below my picture, my video that you're seeing right now, you can take your thumb and you can put your thumb and you can turn that gray button blue. Why? It makes people say, wow, it's a good video. All these people like it. Also, what you can do if you are watching on YouTube, and I see that people are starting to do this because I see the analytics come in where people start to watch our show and people are getting our show from WhatsApp, which means that people are listening on YouTube, which means that you are sharing this, copying and sharing this link to your WhatsApp group, or perhaps individually to people in WhatsApp that you may think would like this show, would enjoy watching the show, or maybe need some immigration help, or perhaps you're even putting it on your status in your, whatever they call it, status, a story on WhatsApp. Please do that right now on YouTube. It's the best way to share this. I am trying my best for you every day. The entire Brad Show crew is trying their best for you. The least you can do for me, and I really appreciate it if you can, is share this with your friends and family. Give me the thumbs up. Put it on your WhatsApp. Scream it out the door. Whatever you need to do. But please, let's get our numbers up and let's get more and more people to watch. It's really, we want to help as many people as we can. Now, that doesn't leave Facebook off the hook. Facebook, it's a lot easier to share. You can share this onto your timeline. You can share this to your friends and family. Right now, we have 67 comments on Facebook, 68 comments. Now, some of the comments are really, really good. Like, for example, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, says, Brad, you are so committed to your fans and followers and look out for everyone to help them. We appreciate you, my #1 lawyer. Thank you very much. Very smart, intelligent comment, besides the fact giving me a nice compliment. If you can make long, nice comments, whether positive, I hope they're positive. You want to say something negative, I'm not going to stop you, but we're into positivity here. But smart, intelligent comments. If you don't want to share, make some smart, intelligent comments. If you're going to leave your immigration question in the comments, please make the question legible. Legible meaning in proper English, so that way I understand what your problem is and I can fix it. And when you make long comments, Facebook algorithm sees people are making long, intelligent, smart comments. They will push this out to more and more people to watch. In addition, I'm going to ask you in a few minutes to start watch parties. That's the easiest way to share this with your friends and family, because if you start a watch party, that means everybody who follows you may also choose to or choose not to watch this. So with that being said, please don't forget to share both on YouTube and Facebook. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please subscribe on YouTube. Because if you subscribe, you're going to get a ding every time that we come live. You'll never miss our show. I get messages all the time. From people who are saying, when's your show starting? When can I ask a question? Well, subscribe and you'll know every time. Same on Facebook. Follow and like the entire Brad Show Live page. If you follow and like the entire Brad Show Live page, you'll be notified every time we come on. And I hear sometimes people get a little trepidation, a little scared, because they say, you know what? I don't want anyone to know my problems. I don't want anyone to know my issues. Somebody may think something of me. You know what? I will assure you, okay, over 90% of the people who subscribe live in the United States. A majority of them are probably legal or U.S. citizens. So just because you subscribe to Bradshaw Live doesn't necessarily mean you have an immigration problem. It's like similar when I tell people they can travel on their passport within the United States when planes were flying in the United States, and people say, well, I'm scared to show my Jamaican passport, or I'm scared to show my Trinidadian passport. Just because you show a foreign passport doesn't mean you're out of status. And people have been traveling with their passports without TSA looking for visas or anything because it's not their job. Just because you have a foreign passport, just because you were born in a foreign country, doesn't mean you have an immigration problem. So if you like our show, please subscribe on YouTube, and please follow and like on Facebook. And right now, we are going to get into something that we like to call schmoozing with Brad. So I realized yesterday I didn't tell Lee, who I don't know if Lee has left. I don't know if Lee has left. He's one of our new members of our crew. He's actually running the control board right now, and I don't know if he's actually left his bed. Every time we start the show, the guy's lying in his bed with his computer. I go, did you even step out of bed during this entire thing? But that's what he's doing. Nevertheless, coronavirus. You know, that's what's on everybody's mind. When the hell is this going to be over? I have no idea. I just wish it's over very, very soon. It's now infected more than 3 million people and killed more than 211,000 confirmed worldwide. It's also confirmed worldwide that 910,600 people have recovered globally. Those numbers, as I say every day, are not accurate numbers. Those numbers are people who actually have confirmed deaths from coronavirus, confirmed infections. There are substantially more people who have died from coronavirus. Either they died at home, or they died on the way to the hospital, or the hospital thought we're treating them before we had tests. We're treating them for some other disease, and it turns out that they died of coronavirus. I can tell you in the United States, if somebody dies and they were not being treated for coronavirus in a hospital, they're not getting tested at the morgue for coronavirus, and it's presumed they may have died from coronavirus, but we're not 100% sure. But I would bet a lot of them did. So all these numbers that you're seeing are very skewed low, not high. Now, 57,500 people confirmed dead in the United States so far. Worldwide, the number of cases in the United States, 57,500, yes, have died in the U.S. More than a quarter of deaths worldwide. I got to make sure I'm reading these statistics correctly. And now in the United States, more than 1 billion people have been confirmed to have had coronavirus. Now, Dr. Chris Murray, the director of the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, said the Institute's scientific model has increased its predicted U.S. coronavirus death toll from 60,000 people to 74,000 people. Why did all of a sudden it go up for another 15, 17,000 people? Well, I guess the governor of Georgia feels people need to get tattoos and they need to go bowling. And you know, when you go bowling, you know what happens when you go bowling? You got to take your shoes off and put somebody else's shoes on. And then you got to go touch some balls. And not your balls, but the balls in the bowling alley. And when you're at a tattoo artist, the tattoo artist is not tattooing you from 6 feet away. He's right on top of you. And when you're going to get a manicure and pedicure, it's the same exact thing. So now that many states are opening up early, a lot of these statisticians are saying there's going to be more death, more coronavirus death. Now, that is a decision that you can argue one way or the other. If human life is the most important thing, then you say we should all stay home. If you say, well, we're willing to sacrifice some human life so we can get back to normal life, well, then now you're going to see the numbers of deaths from the coronavirus increase from 60 to 74,000 people. What's the right decision? That's what they're arguing on Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC every day. My opinion is that if we already started this process of staying home, and we already started this process of social distancing and quarantining, we finished the process. And number two, it's very easy to say, I'm okay with another 14,000 deaths. But what if one of those 14,000 deaths is me or you or your mother, or God forbid, or your father, God forbid, or your best friend? Then maybe it's not okay anymore. It's very nice to say in the abstract, oh yeah, another 14, 15,000 people die in the United States. Who cares? But those are lives, and those are lives that may touch me or that may be my life. So to me, I would rather stay as crazy as I'm getting inside my quarantine department. And as much as I want to open up the window and scream, get me the hell out of here already, which is what everybody wants to do, I'm willing to stay another 2 to 3 weeks. So that additional death is not me, not somebody I know. Maybe it's not even somebody I know. I never met the person before, but who deserves to die after we went through all of this? So that's my opinion, but governor of Georgia feels differently. I'm not the governor of Georgia. So that's what he decided to do. Now, the International Rescue Committee, they estimate that there could be up to 1 billion coronavirus infections and 3.2 million deaths in crisis-affected countries. Now, these are affected countries are countries that already had problems before, coronavirus. Now you add a country that's in that was on fire before coronavirus even started, and now all of a sudden you put coronavirus in a fire. Now you're looking at a major problem. The 34 crisis-affected countries that the International Rescue Committee estimates or refers to that they're going to have huge coronavirus problems include Afghanistan, Burundi, Bangladesh, Burkina Faso, Chad, Cameroon, Colombia, the DRC, El Salvador, Ethiopia, Greece, Iraq, Jordan, Kenya, Lebanon, Liberia. Now, these are all sound like countries already that you've seen in the news that already have problems. Libya, Mali, Myanmar, Niger, Nigeria, Pakistan, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Tanzania, Thailand, Uganda, Venezuela, and Yemen. Now, in a statement, the IRC said that it compiled the estimates based on modeling and data produced by the Imperial College of London. That was the Imperial College of London is the group that Trump and all of Western Europe used to model back in March that we're going to have a huge problem in Western Europe and in the United States of America to close it down. Now, we're still, according to the IRC, we're still in a critical window of time to mount a robust preventive response to corona in many of these countries, but these countries, we're not very confident that they're going to get their act together. So I feel very badly about what's coming down the lane in these particular countries. Now, the head of the United Nations has called for a global ceasefire on March 23rd. He says, we have coronavirus, so therefore there should be an end to war. And a lot of people, a lot of places where there are wars, they are having a ceasefire. Now, why would you have a ceasefire just because of coronavirus? Well, whatever the group, I was just telling Jilly, I said, it's crazy, but whatever the group, let's say there's a war going on right now, whatever group is losing is going to be like, yeah, we want a ceasefire, we're losing. And whatever group is winning in a war is saying, you know what, we're winning this war. We don't want to all get killed by coronavirus. Now that we're winning the war, let's have a ceasefire until this coronavirus is over. It's actually a crazy world, but there's ceasefires going on right now. Fighters from Colombia to Ukraine, they have signaled a willingness. There's a war going on in Colombia. There's a war going on between rebels in Ukraine that are being backed by Russia, and they all want a ceasefire. Now, according to a draft of the measure obtained by USA Today, the 15-member United Nations Security Council is going to vote as early as this week on a resolution that demands immediate cessation of hostilities. The Trump administration, though, is holding everything up because they don't want anything with the World Health Organization in this UN agreement. Why? Because they feel, the United States and the Trump administration feels that the World Health Organization was biased against the United States and in favor of China when they were telling the world that China was doing everything under its power to curtail the coronavirus, when in fact it appears that China was not doing everything under its power to control the coronavirus and allowed the coronavirus to spread outside of its borders and throughout the entire world. And Trump in the United States is very mad at this, especially since the United States funds 25% of the World Health Organization. Now, the World Health Organization does a lot of good. And I'm not even sure that whether what Trump is saying is right or not. I don't know the facts. I haven't heard the other side. I just hear what Trump says. So I don't know if what he's saying about the World Health Organization is correct. If it is, then yes, he has a legitimate beef. But the World Health Organization does so much good around the world. It's not the time to be cutting funding because you have a beef with the World Health Organization. But welcome to the world of Donald Trump. Now, Barry Posen, an international professor of political science at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, said the ceasefire could also help staunch the flow of refugees in some war-ravaged countries, which also could hopefully slow the spread of the coronavirus. Posen says war and disease travel together, and they are usually causative. So that's also one of the reasons why everybody wants a ceasefire. A ceasefire not only prevents wars, but it also prevents coronavirus from spreading around the world. So it's really, really, really important thing. Now, what was also a byproduct of coronavirus is that Miami just announced yesterday that for the first time in 7 weeks, nobody got killed. I'm sorry. In the last 7 weeks, for the first time since 1957, I got this statistic wrong. For the first time since 1957, there has been a 7-week period in Miami where nobody got killed. Hasn't happened since 1957. Now, Mayor Francis Suarez declared a local state of emergency on March 12th to slow the spread of coronavirus, and the order has been extended 6 times in week-long increments. So from February 17th until April 12th of this year, which is a total of 7 weeks and 6 days, nobody has been killed in Miami. Now, according to the Miami police, other crimes have also decreased, but the department says that decreases has not extended to domestic violence calls. Miami Police Chief Jorge Colina told the New York Times he's concerned incidents of domestic violence and child abuse may be underreported during this order. Now, if you are the victim of domestic violence or you are the victim of child abuse, there are telephone numbers that you can call. They are right now up on our screen. It's 1-800-4CHILD. And that is if you feel that your child or you are a child watching this right now and you are the victim of child abuse, there is also a hotline for domestic violence. We're going to put that telephone number up as well. And I do have to tell everybody, just from an immigration standpoint, that you don't have to stay in an unhappy marriage to get a green card, especially in an unhappy marriage where there is domestic violence. So if you are in a marriage where there is domestic violence, which is physical violence or extreme emotional abuse, you have the right to leave your spouse. You have the right to get a green card nevertheless. Now, unfortunately in Chicago, the stay-at-home order has not lowered crime, which is very bizarre. You would think it would, but it hasn't. Police responded to 19 shootings last Tuesday night, 6 of which were homicides. So that means that shootings are up 42% from the same time last year. In Los Angeles, the drop in violent crime has been marred by an increase in domestic violence calls, like I've been talking about. According to the Los Angeles Sheriff Alex Villanueva, deputies responded to about 8% more domestic violence calls between mid-March and mid-April compared to last year, obviously because everybody's quarantined and you're in close quarters, and that adds fuel to the fire. Now, some countries are also easing some lockdowns. Today, New Zealand began its first day of transitioning to level 3 from the toughest restrictions to level 4. But I don't know what level 4 is, but Prime Minister said the country is not out of the woods yet, but I'm happy New Zealand is in level 4. Austria's lockdown won't be extended when it ends on Thursday. Australia's iconic Bondi Beach is reopened. Hong Kong is going to start loosening some measures too. So we can see that at least parts of the world are starting to open. And as I said at the top of the show, it's basically, especially in areas that has not gotten to zero coronavirus, it's basically a decision by the government on at what point are we willing to accept a loss and more additional death to get back to normal life. And there's no, it's a juggling act. There's no right answer. I gave you my opinion. Other people differ. Now, as I said to you, when Donald Trump started the 60-day ban on immigration, there will eventually be a lawsuit against it. Well, just like I said, a new legal action has asked a federal judge, it started yesterday, to place a temporary restraining order on the Trump administration's April 22nd presidential proclamation designed to prevent many Americans from sponsoring their family members. The legal action builds on existing lawsuits that has blocked the Trump administration from implementing the presidential proclamation on new immigrants getting health care. If you remember, last fall, President Trump passed an executive order that says you can't enter the United States as a green card holder or as an immigrant unless you have health care. And that would be a violation of the poverty guidelines. And that case has a injunction on it. That injunction has been in place for at least 6-8 months now. This temporary restraining order is in the same case. Now, the emergency motion for a temporary restraining order was filed April 25th by the Justice Action Center, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and Innovation Law Lab, with pro bono counsel Sidney Austin and Latino Network as the organizational plaintiffs. Now, on November 26, 2019, as we're going back in time, this is when we had the injunction for the requirement to have health insurance. U.S. District Judge Michael Howard granted the motion that requires immigrants to show that they could buy unsubsidized health insurance, which leads me back to this. Injunctions stay in place for long periods of time. They don't stay in place for a week or 2 weeks or a month. This injunction for the health insurance has been in place November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 7 months. Okay? This proclamation is going to be ending in 60 days. Even if he extends it, there'll be another injunction. What's most important is we're going to have an election in November, and America is going to be the appeals judge of all of this. They're going to be the appeals judge on how Donald Trump handled coronavirus, on whether it was appropriate to drink Lysol to kill coronavirus. How stupid was that? On all of his immigration proclamations, on how he's handled the economy. And right now, our economy is reeling. People are saying that we may be in a depression, let alone a recession. 20% of Americans are out of work right now. And it is the worst. More people have applied for unemployment in the last month than ever in the history of the United States of America. And Donald Trump says he's making America great again. This is not making America great again in any stretch of the imagination. So, unless there's a huge, huge turnaround, Donald Trump screwed his whole presidency up by telling everybody this coronavirus is a flu when he knew otherwise. And he could have, if he was really on top of it, back in January, done something to curtail the coronavirus in the United States, which is now, the U.S. has more coronavirus than anywhere in the world. He could have done something, but instead he kept rooting on the stock market. Look at the stock market going up. Look at the stock market going up. So this is how he has made America great again. And so the people, Americans, they're going to vote in November. And they will ultimately be the appeals judges of all of this, which is the great thing about democracy. And I believe that whatever proclamations he does, these injunctions will prevent him from implementing most of this, at least through an election, if he gets reelected again then we'll have to deal with him for 4 more years, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm of the opinion right now that there is no way in hell the man gets elected again with a 35% approval rating right now and 20% unemployment. Because as President Clinton once said when he was running for president, he said, all the other issues don't matter. It's the economy, stupid. And then, when you have 20% unemployment, I don't know who's voting for you. So a lot of health officials said they were not going to be going back to coronavirus. I thought this was actually interesting too. And then we're going to get to our immigration questions. There's so much going on with coronavirus though. There was going to be no vaccine until 2021. But now Oxford University has come out and said that they are past the point of testing a vaccine on monkeys. They have tested a vaccine on monkeys. The monkeys have lived in a coronavirus infected place for 28 days, and some monkeys got the vaccine. Other monkeys didn't get the vaccine, and all the monkeys who got the vaccine for 28 straight days, none of them got sick. And all the monkeys who didn't get the vaccine, they all got sick. So now they got the okay on an expedited basis because these monkeys didn't get sick from the Oxford University's vaccine to test this vaccine on 6,000 people in the next month. If they show that the 6,000 people also do not get coronavirus, and we also show that it has been safe for these people, then they feel that by September or October, they can be approved for giving coronavirus vaccines to millions of people around the world. Now, the one thing about vaccines, and I'm all in favor of vaccines, is I got to make sure that it's safe in my body before I put it in. Is 4 months of watching somebody, they didn't get sick in 4 months, is that a long enough period of time to say it's okay to put the vaccine in my body? That's for another day's discussion. We'll see what happens. We have some fun stuff too. But you know what? We're going to do all fun stuff tomorrow. Let's get to some immigration questions. I'm 33 minutes into this show already. So that's it for the schmooze right now. Before we get to all of our immigration questions, I do got to remind everybody to leave your immigration questions in the comment section. If you leave the immigration questions in the comment section and they are legible, meaning I can understand what you're asking me, okay, I will give you my best answer. Now, if I happen to miss your question, you can ask it again. If I miss it a third or fourth time, the other thing you can do is you could always follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. If you follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram, you can drop me a DM. You could also follow @Bradshaw Live. I just saw the display for Bradshaw Live. Come across Bradshaw Live on Instagram. If you follow us on Bradshaw Live at Instagram, you can see all of our best content, as well as enter into a contest to win a free consultation with me. I will be pulling the name out of a hat tomorrow of everybody who entered into the free consultation giveaway. It's a $200 value. All you have to do is follow @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. Find this post that said $200 consultation with Brad, and that's me with my award at Synopsis for best web series in the entire world, according to Synopsis for 2020. And tag 5 people. And if you tag 5 people, we will put you in my old scratchy old hat, and maybe you will get pulled out and have a free consultation with me. Now's your time on Facebook to start your watch parties. Start them right now. We have 170 people watching on Facebook. Start your watch parties right now. If you start your watch parties right now, your friends will be able to get their immigration questions answered as well. And on YouTube, please give me those thumbs up. Turn that gray box into blue on the thumbs up on the bottom. And as well as share this in your WhatsApp. Share this to your friends. If you could share it on your WhatsApp, you can share it individually to people. You can put it as a status. You can send it to people as a group. And what you're sending is a copy of a link, so they can just copy it and click it on and get their immigration questions answered. All right, so now we're going to do something we like to call You got a question, I'll give you an answer. And so all right, I got my phone out here for Facebook, and let's see what our questions are. A lot of hellos. Kenny Sang with the first question. Hi, Brad. Is it okay to access benefits such as unemployment or housing or food government assistance with the VAWA prima facie benefits, or is there a limit to what you can access? You can access whatever you want as long as they give it to you. And the reason is on VAWA, there are no poverty guideline restrictions to getting a green card as a VAWA applicant. You don't even need an affidavit of support. Pradeep Ram, Uncle Brad, I filed tax for 2018 and 2019, and I'm waiting for my work permit and for the VAWA case approval. Can I apply for unemployment? Absolutely, you can. Hi, Brad. This is Imran Hamid. Hi, Brad. I've submitted my documents to the National Visa Center on 19th of February before February 24th public charge date. Do I have to go through the public charge assessment by providing the consulate office the DS 5540 on interview, or have to be waived off from providing it? Is it true that those who submitted documents to the National Visa Center before February 24th are not be through the public charge assessment and not to provide the DS 5540 to their country? Is that right? No, that is wrong. If you did not get your immigrant visa by February 24th in a U.S. consulate abroad, you have to do the DS 5540. That you are referring to as people who filed adjustment applications in the United States of America. If you filed an adjustment application before February 24th, 2020, you will fall under the old laws. You would not have to do the DS 5540. But that does not apply to people at the consulate. You do have to do it. Eveline Calixte. My mother passed. I'm sorry to hear that. She applied for my brother before she passed. The case was already approved, but they closed the case. Can I take it over? The answer is yes, you can take it over. It's called a humanitarian hardship waiver. It's not even a hardship waiver. It's just a humanitarian waiver. If you can show good humanitarian reasons why your brother needs to still immigrate to the United States, you can step into the shoes of your mother and complete the case without him even losing his place on the waiting list. So yes, we can help you with that. Clifford Gordon, yelling at me. If the U.S. citizen who got your 10-year green card from divorce, will you have any issues regarding citizenship? Well, Clifford, you could have said that without yelling, because when you caps, just so you know, folks, caps on text or comments is yelling. If you got your 10-year card and you're already divorced, as long as there was no fraud in your marriage, you can apply for citizenship based on 5 years of having a green card. Cassie Bennett. Hey, Brad, is removal hearing still being held at this time? Only for detained people in detention, yes. If you're not in detention, no, they're all getting postponed. Jeffrey Jeffer. Hey, Brad, how are you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. I filed for adjustment of status in February, and I didn't have a chance to do my biometric due to the COVID-19. However, I just got a courtesy letter from USCIS reminding me about my medical exam. So I'd like to know if it's good news. Do you think I will get an interview date sooner than later without the biometric? It's possible, but if you get an interview and still don't have a biometric, you won't get approved until they fingerprint you. So you want the biometric to happen too. First Lady Leah with a question. Hi, Uncle Brad. My friend is married to a United States citizen, and she is on a low-income health insurance and also something called Essential Plan. Is this a public charge? I am not a health insurance expert, but I'm not sure what you mean by low-income health insurance. I would need to look up, that particular health insurance, because it's all different programs in all 50 states. And Carol Anderson, the Tiger, with a comment about Lee in his bedroom. Lee, you're doing a great job with the equipment, helping Brad to reach a lot of people. I agree. Thank you very much, Carolyn. Thank you, Lee. Sasha Ford. I do not have any immigration problem, but I love the program and what your office did for me. I want to let everyone know that your staff is the best and they can help you to become a permanent resident or a citizen. You choose. Way to go, Sasha. Thank you very, very much. And Mommy Afu Badu. Uncle Brad got a haircut? Nope. Uncle Brad just shaved. Kenny Sang with another question. Is there a travel tax while using advanced parole? There is no travel tax with advanced parole. And apart from the combo card and passport, should you carry any other documents? Well, I mean, you may want to carry copies of receipts of your adjustment, but I think your combo card and your passport are sufficient to show. If they ask you for more documents, you can show it to them. Let's see what else we have here. Nobody has questions today. Mode Tubashot. Hey, Brad, can you explain the difference between the waiver 601, the 601, and the 212, please? And thank you very much. Oh, the I-601, the 601. Well, I-601 and the 601 are the same exact thing. All right. There's an I-601, but there's three different waivers. There's the I-601, there's the I-601A, and then there's the 212. The 212 waiver is a waiver to re-enter the United States after you were ordered deported. So one of the reasons why you may not be allowed back in the United States is you got deported either by an immigration judge or you were found inadmissible at the airport and you were turned around. The I-601 waiver is done at a U.S. embassy in another country, or it's done at your adjustment interview if you have been found ineligible to adjust your status or get your green card because of criminal records or misrepresentation. Those are usually the two big ones. And then you have to show extreme hardship to your spouse or your parent for you to get a green card. That would be done on the I-601. The I-601A is done when you're in the United States before you leave the United States to go to another country to pick up your green card and come back. And the reason you're doing that is you have a 10-year bar, generally by overstaying your visa or entering the country without inspection. You have a 10-year bar, so that is the provisional waiver, so you can go home and come back. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, she is winning comments of the day, pre-comment of the day, again and again, again. Brad, oh, somebody's calling me, but I can't answer the phone right now. Brad is the best lawyer in the universe. Call him to get your immigration questions answered, you all. People are dying to get on the show. They're calling me in my apartment with immigration questions, but I'm not leaving right now to get the phone. Cassie Bennett. Hey, Brad, is removal courts being held? I think I answered that question already. Denise Cromaz. Hey, Brad, I'm an unmarried daughter of a U.S. citizen. I live in Jamaica. My mom filed for me back in March 2013. We got the approval letter last week, and I was advised that we should wait 30 days for the National Visa Center to contact us. How long can we expect a call with Trump putting a hold on immigration? Well, the hold is 60 days, and there'll probably be an injunction. So my guess is that you will shortly be hearing from the National Visa Center regardless. Kathia FJB, also with a pre-comment of the day. Uncle Brad, thank you for your amazing consultation session and follow-up. You are the real MVP. Thank you very much. And by the way, I forgot to mention, and I should, because I get so involved in my show, you can have a consultation with me. So the way to have a consultation with me is what happens is before I get on my show, every day I get a list at 10 a.m. and it says Uncle Brad's list. And I get a list of 10, 20, 30 people sometimes that I have to call, all people who want consultations with me or need to speak with me for whatever reason. So you have to get on my list for me to call you back from my apartment. So how do you get on my list? You call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. You call, you get on my list. You can call that number right now. You can call it later. You can call it tomorrow. And if you've never called before, yes, you'll pay a small consultation fee. It's $150. But I will call you back. If you're one of my clients, we'll call you back anyway. So the first thing you got to do is get on my list to get a call back from me. And that telephone number is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK. Outside of the United States, it's 227-8933. Archer Natasha, also on Facebook. Can my, who is a permanent resident, petition for myself and children under 21 years after this odor by Trump? Yes, Trump has a very, very bad odor. I agree with you. It's a terrible odor. He probably smells awful. But I don't think his odor is preventing us from filing. It is this proclamation, which is 60 days. Your spouse, who is a permanent resident, can file for you. I think that's who you're talking about, and can also file for your children as well. You do it on an I-130. Let's look over at YouTube and see what's going on YouTube with immigration questions. Let's start with Tiffany. She says, Uncle Brad, for my I-944, I'm unable to get a transcript due to the corona. Is it okay to submit copies of my degrees with a letter explaining this? Also, no short-term joint assets with my husband at this time. Yes, you can submit the transcripts. Try to bring the originals to the time of the interview. S. Shah with a question. If you're in furlough, can you get the N-400 form fee waived? Yeah, you can file for the fee waiver. Absolutely. The worst they'll say is no, do it. Sunny Chowdhury. Hey, Brad, I filed the I-751. It was abuse, marriage. I did my biometrics, but it's 3 years. My case is still pending. Is that normal? No, it is not normal if your case is pending for 3 years on an I-751. I would give me a call and get on my list for tomorrow or the next day. That number is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK outside of the U.S., 212-227-8933. Latoya McKenzie on YouTube. I am in Jamaica. My mom filed for me. I'm 32 years old. My interview was on March 30th. It was canceled because of the corona. I was told to make a new date. How will Trump ban affect me? Well, hopefully Donald Trump has no band. I would not want to listen to any music he wants to play, but the ban is only 60 days. And as I said, there will shortly be an injunction. And after the injunction, it will not affect you at all. And hopefully we have a new president in 6-7 months from now. 29 Super C. Will the simulation package to small business approved by the president today reach all the small business in the U.S.? No, it will not. Most small businesses are not getting, it's the stimulation, it's the stim package, not a simulation. Most small businesses are not getting it. And the reason they're not getting it is this. Banks are making very, very little money on these loans. So for the banks to make money, they have to make as big a loan as they possibly can. So how can a bank make the biggest loan they possibly can? Well, there's a formula on how much money you're supposed to get from this stimulus, which is a multiple of the number of employees you have and their salaries up to $100,000 per employee. So if you're a banker and you want to make the most profits you can, you're going to find the biggest businesses to loan this money to, because those loans will be bigger because you have more employees to give money for stimulus. And the small mom and pops with 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 employees, they get screwed. Thank you, Donald Trump. That's exactly what's going on right now. Okiyami Oyabad. I'm a VAWA applicant married to a U.S. citizen. I filed all applications concurrently since November 2018, still no work permit. I was given a C31 category, even though I filed the I-765 separately. What can I do? I don't know why you got a C31. The C31 is based on a approved VAWA. If you filed an I-45, you should have gotten a work permit on C9. So something is wrong somewhere. I don't know the answer. I don't know what you did. I would have to look at it. You may want to call and get on my list tomorrow. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK. Jeremy Goldberg, part of our crew, just realizing 50 minutes into the show that I shaved. Way to go, Jeremy. Now, this is from a while back. 29 Super C, St. Trinidad, is doing some Surveillance testings on persons who have viral symptoms since our first wave has come to an end. Okay, very good. Sunny Chowdhury, hey Brad, I filed the I-751. It was abuse marriage, 3 years. Yeah, I said it was a problem. Michael and Heidi, Brad, can you talk about Trump being sued for penalizing American citizens for being married to foreigners with an ITIN and the stimulus money? Yes, I did talk about that a little bit yesterday. I'll repeat a little bit about what I said. I don't really have more to say on it than what I said yesterday, which is it's not right. If you're an American citizen, you deserve the stimulus package, whether or not you're married to a foreigner or not. You did the right thing by filing. You followed the law. You filed a tax return. You included your spouse on it. You filed married filing jointly. That was the law you were supposed to follow. You're an American citizen just like me, and you're being penalized because you fall in love with somebody who wasn't born in America. That's not particularly fair. Unfortunately, it's a class action lawsuit. This thing's going to go on for months or years. By the time you get the money, you're not going to need it anymore because with coronavirus will be over. There'll be a vaccine, and the lawyers are going to take a big chunk of it. It's extraordinarily unfair across the board. And Trump is really a cruel, cruel man. Paramesh Thapa. Hi, Brad. What do you recommend for someone who's waiting for asylum decision after 3 years? I recommend that you call me and let's review your asylum case. If you have a really good case, perhaps your cases, we would want to do a mandamus and force immigration to make a decision. If you have a so-so case, maybe we want to talk about other options, because if we do a mandamus, we don't want to get you denied and now all of a sudden you're in deportation. Although maybe sometimes you want to be put in deportation and try again before a judge. Depends on, on your risk level. So you would need to discuss it with me. But the first thing that comes to my mind when there's an asylum pending for long periods of time is mandamus. And by the way, I noticed when I was making an Instagram post and I was looking for a little, on Instagram, you can put like little, funny little, pictures or something on your post. You type immigration, comes up mandamus now. So people are talking mandamus. Henry Hennessy. If someone has a conditional permanent residency through marriage and just realized that their card expires in a couple of weeks, am I supposed to, I-751 is supposed to be filed 90 days before. Best course of action now? File it before your green card expires. How about get off your ass and do it? May Dennis. And if you're not sure what to do, call me, get on my list, and I'll do it for you. It's 1-800-529-5465. As long as it's filed before the end of the 90 days, you're going to get a green card extension for 18 months. If it's filed after 90 days, you have to have a really good excuse why you're filing late and you're looking at deportation. So get it done. Tori Davis and May Davis. Maybe these questions go together because they're right back and back. Let's start with May and see if these questions go together. I'm not sure. Good evening, Brad. My auntie got approved later, says that her petition for alien relative was approved. Do you know how long it will take before she gets her work paper and her I-45? Also, the documents yes, May Dennis and Tori Davis seem to be together. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. Well, good evening, Brad. My auntie got approved later, says that her petition for alien relative was approved. Do you know how long it will take before she gets her work paper and her I-45? I don't know what petition was approved. I don't know anything more about her case. I would need to know a lot more. Tori Davis, documents like police record and the biographic passport page aren't accessible by my mother, a lawful permanent resident. Should I just bring them to the interview since she doesn't have them? I'm in Jamaica. No, what you need to do is send them up to her, copies and or the original police report. She's got to submit it to the National Visa Center. They're not going to schedule you for the appointment. So it's called Federal Express, and FedEx it up. Miss AC, please, Uncle Brad. I did my biometrics for work permit via VAWA February 14th. I'm yet to hear anything as regards. They have to approve VAWA before I get the work permit. If you just filed a VAWA case and not an adjustment, the answer is yes. You need to get the VAWA approved before you get the work permit. However, if you file an adjustment application, with the VAWA case, which you can absolutely do even today, you will get a work permit in about 4 months. You would have to file a new work permit application with the I-765. Sarah Noor saying, hi, Brad. Just want to say I like your show. Thank you very much. Frenchie Boy. Always with a question every day, Frenchie Boy. Hi, I've lived in the United States since my infancy with the TPS program. Trump canceled the program some time ago. How long would it take my mother, a U.S. resident, to sponsor me? I'm an unmarried adult. About 7 years. But you should have an appointment with me. If you've been in the United States since you were a baby and you still don't have a green card and now you're an adult, you need to get on my list. 1-800-529-5465, 212-227-3636. Reniqua Walker saying, hi, Brad. I got married a year before my I-130 has been approved, and now the petition has been approved, and now it's at the National Visa Center. What should I do, and when should I tell them I am married? I'm 25-year-old of citizen. I guess your mother or father filed for you. You need to, when you get the National Visa Center case number, what you will need to do is send a copy of your marriage certificate to them along with your case number and tell them to change your category from F1 to F3 because you're married. So the time to do it is now. Coyote Cooney. Hi, Uncle Brad. How long does a VAWA case take, and how long does it take to get an EAD via VAWA? Also, how safe to travel with advanced parole? VAWA cases take 18 to 24 months. You will not get an EAD via a VAWA until the VAWA is approved unless you also file an adjustment. If you file the adjustment along with it, you should get the VAWA, you should get a work permit in about 5 months. Is it safe to travel with advanced parole? Yes, but you got to watch out for coronavirus. Henry Hennessy. If someone has a conditional permanent residency through marriage and just realized their card expires in a couple of weeks, yes, we answered that question already. And finally, on YouTube, Shama Brown. Hi, Uncle Brown. Hi, Uncle Brown. Hi, Uncle Brad. If your immigration sent you a letter stating that they needed more evidence for the joint sponsor, can you use a different sponsor? Yes, you can substitute out a sponsor and get a new one. Let's go back to Facebook very quickly before we end our show. See what else we have here. Bukari Drummer. Hi, I've lived in the U.S. since my infancy with the TPS. Oh, I guess that's Bukare, must be Frenchie on YouTube. I answered that question. J.D. King. I applied for removal of condition of marriage on March 2020. How long does it take for me to get the 10-year card? Probably at least 18 months now. Charmaine Taylor. Hi, Uncle Brad. I'm married to a retired military. I got travel documents and work permits since August 2019, but haven't received an appointment for my green card. It's over 1 year now. What should I do? If it's over 1 year, get on my list. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. Nothing's going to happen until coronavirus is over, but 1 year, after you're waiting 1 year, it's time to get me involved. Gordon Jima. Hi, Brad. I hope you're doing great today. My question is, how long does it take the USCIS to respond to an RFE after it's been received? It's supposed to be less than 120 days, but it could take a lot longer. Jacobson Francis. Brad, I came in with a K1. I have my 2 years conditional. During the removal, I will also have another biometric. Yes, you will. Kathia FJB. Katrina does an amazing job at scheduling these consultation sessions. Thank you very much. I will let her know. Kenny Sang. Hi, Brad. I have a C31 work permit and filed an adjustment in EAD. Do I get the same category? C31, or will it change to a C9? It will change to a C9. Dwayne Gordon. Hi, Brad. My mother's a permanent resident. Can she file for her daughter that lives in the U.S.? The answer is yes. Archer Natasha, right above Dwayne Gordon. Hi, Brad. How long after your biometrics taken do I have to wait for my work permit to be approved? It could be anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Ali Bubicha, right above Natasha. I'm going backwards now. Brad, when is the mandamus file? 1 year after your interview or 1 year after submitting petition? Could be either one, depends on each particular situation. And finally, Star Girl Mika saying, Brad, you shaved. You look fine as always. Thank you very much. And with that, we're going to come to an end, but I do have to remind everybody that if you do have immigration issues, the best way to resolve them is let me call you tomorrow or the next day. And that telephone number, you have to call me, so I call you. You get on my list. It's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, or internationally, the number is +1 212-227-8933. And with that, we have some comments of the day. I will be surprised. I think I read a lot of them, but maybe Julie surprises me with a few that I have not seen. Let's see what our comments of the day are. Rondon says, blessings, Mr. Brad, you shaved, so I think they will open up the country now. That's very funny. And Adesumbo Adalaja says, Uncle Brad, when you decide to retire from what you do now, I see you being a successful comedian. You are good at everything you do. You sure have a way to crack up the people. Well, hopefully one day, that one day will be a long time from now. I like helping everybody. But if I ever were to retire, I do like telling jokes. And with that, I do have to remind everybody that this has been an attorney advertisement. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. I do have to remind everybody to please subscribe on YouTube. If you liked what you watched, if you like this show, subscribe on YouTube so you get notified every time we come live. If you like what you watch on Facebook, subscribe. You don't subscribe, you like and follow on Facebook. Also, you can follow me on @RealBradBernstein. If you didn't get your immigration question answered, or you just happen to be interested in @RealBradBernstein, even if you don't have an immigration problem, you can follow me nevertheless. You can always drop me a DM. I'm happy to answer your questions if I can. And you can also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram, you can tag 5 friends in the post that offers a free consultation. If you tag 5 friends, you like that post, and you follow at Brad Show Live, you may be picked out of my scruffy old hat tomorrow and win a free consultation with me. With that being said, I do have to say to everybody, goodbye, adios, sayonara. I wish you all adieu, ciao, and ahoy. And I got to learn some new ways to say goodbye. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks.